Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. CC 22 back at Iowa with the fever. We're heading to Iowa. Indiana Fever will be taking on the Brazilian national team at Carver Hawkeye Arena for a preseason game on Sunday, May 4th. She's back. Caitlin Clark returning to Carver Hawkeye Arena for an Indiana Fever preseason game going head-to-head against the Brazilian national team. Why the Brazilian national team? Well, conveniently enough, that's Damaris Dantas' national team. Dantas, yeah, she's still on the roster. Yup, she's been putting in work overseas. Yup, she's been looking like she's been in the gym, on the treadmill, getting in shape, upping that cardio, ready to let it fly from the three-point line, ready to bang bodies in the paint. Dantas, I see you. I see you. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever against the Brazilian national team. The Indiana Fever put out a graphic letting the whole world know Caitlin Clark is coming back.
Exciting news, Fever fans. We are coming to Iowa City. We are thrilled to announce that the Indiana Fever will face off against the Brazilian national team in a preseason exhibition at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Caitlin Clark makes her return home to the University of Iowa on May 4th.
Sunday, May 4th, Caitlin Clark makes her glorious return. Folks, she's making her return this Sunday as they put her jersey up in the rafters. Yes, Juju Watkins against Iowa this Sunday. Caitlin Clark will be in attendance, jersey retired. We're going to talk about it. Then 2 months later, she's coming back a day before Cinco de Mayo, folks. We're going to be getting a little a day before Cinco de Mayo, we're going to be watching Caitlin Clark return to Iowa. You know she's going for 50. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. And Grace, folks, they're going to give Grace Berger some runtime, too. It's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. Now, last year, if you guys remember, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm pretty sure South Carolina did the same thing with A'ja Wilson, right? They brought A'ja Wilson back to South Carolina to go head-to-head. I don't want to say the wrong team. Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, one of those teams I want to say. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I do believe it was one of those teams. She went back to South Carolina with the Las Vegas Aces, and they did play a national team. So this isn't new, but clearly you can see they're pushing all their chips in the table. The same way the Aces said, oh, we're going to push A'ja Wilson as much as we can. The Indiana Fever and Kelly Crosshoff, oh, we're pushing Caitlin Clark. We're returning to Indiana Fever. Don't worry, we're not going to wait. We're coming as soon as possible. We are coming as soon as possible. Now, something that I thought I'd throw in here, Caitlin Clark. I did mention this interview briefly with David Echolt. David covers the Iowa Hawkeyes for 24/7 and CBS Sports. He has his own podcast, The Swarmcast. Go give it a follow, subscribe, so on and so forth. He had Caitlin Clark on his podcast, and he talked about her 3 most iconic games through her illustrious career. And since she's returning this Sunday, since we just got this announcement that she's going back there with a jersey, ready to break a sweat, ready to drop 50 with Kelsey Money Mitch, put him in a, you know what, with Aaliyah. Let's hear what Caitlin Clark's top 3 most iconic games are to her.
I made a list of the 3 games I think that kind of, now I want to say made your college career, but like kind of defined the journey of your college career.
Let's hear them.
So,
I think I'm going to know. Let me think about it. Let me pick my 3. Okay, I got him. Let's see if we match up.
Okay. Do you want to go 3-3, or do you want me to do all three and then you do all three?
You do all three, then I'll do all my three.
Okay. All right. Number one, I still think it has to be the South Carolina game. I mean, I feel like that just kind of transcended everything for not just you, but for the entire program at that point, even more than the Elite Eight win over Louisville. I just think that's what people really remember about that. Number two, I'm going to go the Indiana game, the Indiana buzzer beater.
Yep.
I think that has to be up there.
Okay. I have those two too. Let's see number three.
I have the Creighton game from the round of 32.
Okay. I like how you're thinking about that. Honestly, that's a great take. I think that's looking at how my career was shaped. Like I said, I don't think we have the success we do if we don't lose that game to Creighton. Obviously, it was a very, very hard moment. You know, get upset by a 10 seed when you're a 2 seed playing in front of a sold out crowd, having just won the Big Ten tournament or the Big Ten regular season championship, whatever we had won. Maybe I think we had won both that year, actually.
That sophomore season.
I think that was, you know, the days after that were some of the worst days of my career. But I think that really lit a fire inside of us. That offseason we had going into my junior year was really, really special and really great. And I thought we just came into my junior year with this like extra fire and like kind of that will behind us that we didn't really have my sophomore year. Like we all knew we were good, but there was like nothing really like a fire in our belly that we didn't have. So I think that's a great point. I was thinking more of like a successful side, but I would totally agree with you. So I put my third one probably the Michigan game my sophomore year when I had 46.
That was my other one. That was number 4.
I feel like that was my first moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like that's when I first blew up in college. Yeah. That game. Because we had like 7 available players or whatever it was. And I remember after that game.
You guys were down by like 21 or 22 going the fourth. Then you just started pulling up from like 40.
Had literally never gotten in the game earlier in the season. And so I'm like, okay, we're down 20. I'm just going to start launching. And I just start chucking bombs and they're going in and I'm just like, what? But I think the moment I kind of realized like things were starting to turn was we were traveling home from Ann Arbor and we couldn't fly out. We got delayed a little bit. So we were all like hanging out in the FBO and a few of us were in like the pilot's lounge. They have like recliners and stuff. And we had ESPN on and like, I think it was like top 10 or something came on.
It was number 1 that night.
Yeah. A bunch of like my clips were on there and I was like sitting there. I was like, because I don't think I had really been on ESPN until that point. And I was a kid that grew up like you watch the SportsCenter top 10 like every single day. Like that's what you do. You turn the TV on, you watch SportsCenter top 10. So I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the coolest thing in the world. And then little did I know like what would transpire over the next few years. So I feel like that was kind of the first sign in my journey of where things were going to go. But I completely agree that the Creighton game, like if that doesn't happen, I don't think we have the type of success that we ended up having.
And there it is, folks. And there it is. Caitlin Clark making her return to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. How many points are you expecting Caitlin Clark to drop, folks? She's coming to put on a show. She's coming to put on a show. It's going to be sold out. Tickets, I'm sure, are going to be expensive. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. We'll see you next time, and as always, take it easy.